I'm Tom Howder. I'm the owner of this project, which is a 1932 Lockheed Altair. It's actually a Detroit Altair because it's a metal fuselage versus the other ones that were all wood fuselages. And we're here at D&D Classic trying to get the skins fitted to this aircraft. This is the rear cockpit of the aircraft. This is the front cockpit area. And then here is where the passengers sit.
Really?
And so there's a door that'll go in on the other side right there. And you can, in the old days, originally they had 4 passengers up here, but people were a lot smaller back then. And so we're just going to put 2 seats there. Then you have a space up forward for luggage. And then the very front of it in this bay, there'll be an oil tank here for the engine and probably just empty space down here, or I may put in some of the radios and other things down that area. A window here and here. I've been thinking lately of maybe even putting a small one there and putting 3 windows in. The actual model, this will be is what Lockheed called a sport cabin. And they only built one of those and with windows in it. And actually they thought ahead that one of these windows opens up for emergency exit, although that's a pretty small exit, quite frankly. So back in Virginia, where I'm from, we made these hoops, which are 2024 aluminum. And originally we had to make them out of zero temper and then have them formed and heat treated, which causes some distortion. And we put in the stringers and floorboards and things like that over time. We had a company in Arizona make these T-stringers for us that go against the skin. And the way it works is the skin panels go on from one T-stringer down to another, overlaps, and the T goes on and covers up the gap. And the real problem with this airplane is the skins on it are 8 panels around, but they go all the way from the front, where the firewall is, all the way back to the tail cone. It's one piece, about 22 feet long. And we could not form these skins ourselves. I got my buddy Steve Berkman, Paul Miller, and Roy Case tried, and we were very good at making a lot of scrap metal. So we came to D&D Classic to help form the skins on this, which they're very good at. But of course, this had to be picked up from where it was in our shop and moved here. And in the process, there was a lot of settling and moving of these bulkheads. Found that they'd moved both vertically, they moved side to side, and things didn't line up so well. So for the past 4 days, a buddy and I have been straightening all this out to get it back to where it's a point where once again you can try to get the best fit of the skins to it. So we've got the front done, we've got them leveled again, we've got them oriented, and then we spent a great deal of time getting the tail section of the aircraft right, because the horizontal stabilizer attaches back here, and then you trim the airplane by moving up and down on this gear racks on each side. And so this had to be perfectly level, this had to be perfectly level, and you had to make sure that there was no twist to it at all, and that also the distance was correct so the gears meshed properly. And that took a lot more effort than we thought. There had been a fair amount of distortion and motion during the shipment. Hadn't quite counted on that, but we now finally have it all aligned. It's fairly sturdy again, and it's ready to start forming skins and go into the next stage, which is get the skins formed, and then we can start riveting the skins into position.
Yes, when we have the skin on here, it's going to suck the skin to the shape of this, which is this profile here is off. So to make it correct and for our skin to flow nice and that won't suck in, we have to make shims.
Magic pepper. For me, this definitely helps for tracking, being able to see it. I mean, it makes the impression of where the grass is going, where you've cut it and where you haven't cut it. And it makes it easier to mark where those low spots are. Here I am putting a controller on that has an on-off switch and a rheostat that I can adjust the electric motor for the speed. And what this does, compared to the way it's traditionally done with a clutch and a foot pedal, you slip the clutch to control the speed. And now with the electric motor, I can finally adjust and hold that particular speed, and it actually hammers consistently. That combined with the tracking pattern of the power hammer, now all I have to do is concentrate on making those paths nice and smooth and holding the panel. And as you see in this video, it actually takes other people here to actually hold the panel in place. If it's held at an angle, then it creates a crease and it creates some of the ripples.
It's smoothing it out pretty
It is
decent.
smoothing it out. It's definitely, I think with the die, the way it's set up and the consistency, the first pass looks like it definitely improves it. That's the beauty of this graphite. We can kind of mark this little low spot or whatever where the panel's not quite hitting, and then we can go in there and pick those things out. I'm going to initially see about picking these out and do one pass and raise those up, and then I'm going to go back, and then I'm going to do a wash over just this area.
Like we did at the front.
Like we did at the front. The initial thought was, if this is, you think this is probably it right here in the middle where it pulls up the most, right there. And then we'll figure out what that distance is, and we can trim that off. What are almost 2 inches?
Yeah, probably at least a good inch and a half.
Okay, so what we can do, if that's the highest point, what I can do is I can start marking it. I'm just trying to get it.
That's a slick way of doing it.
Yeah. Is this the bottom down here?
Yeah, that's the bottom right there. You got
Okay, all right. Wow.
A lot more than I thought.
Yeah, it is a lot more. I'm glad I added the extra.
Oh, yeah.
Now we should be into the hole and opening.
Right. Yeah, now you're into where the opening is.
Okay, good. All right. And all we really need to do for now is we can just notch and cut this, and then I'll set down. Now, are we going to have any interference with that rear
Yeah,
bar?
you can cut that out.
Okay, cool. We can make a notch on
You
that.
can cut that out. It's no problem at all.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Let's do that. The big thing this week was Tom coming on out and actually adjusting these various profiles. But the other big thing is being able to make this forged aluminum shim out of 6061, being able to anneal it and get it to the basic shape. And after Tom has made the adjustment, we found out that maybe this shim doesn't need to be quite as thick. But the key thing is also being able to pick out the various spots on the fuselage itself. Now that Tom's aligned things on up, we can make these various shims. And of course, this is the first time we've ever really fit the skin to the fuselage. And as you've seen, we've had to trim the one edge off, and that's basically what we're going to do with the rest of the airplane. Carefully go through, make sure that all the profiles are going to line up, make any shims that we have to, or make any adjustments, and then carefully trim all these things, because what we're talking about right now is riveting this skin on and the opposite skin. Within the next few weeks, then we'll start working on the shims and the surfaces on on the top of the airplane as well. Now that we know that the fuselage is in its best condition, that's what we're going to proceed with right now.
Panels go on, they rivet right to these flanges, and then, like I said, it goes from panel will go from here to down there, and then you put the T on it to cover the gap and also provide some structure. And you can see it's fairly loose like this, so the only really hard point we have is down here. So you start the panel down here riveting it, and as you go up you pull this into position so it's right where it should be. But this distortion was caused by the heat treating process, and it's sort of just a problem with how you have to do it to form this curve and the flange and everything else. We had to do it in much softer material. But when you heat treat it, it gets a little wave to it, and we'll get it out, but it'll take some work. But once the skin goes on, all that'll vanish.
Tom, tell me what you're doing here.
Well, we're finally riveting the skin on. So we've got one bay area we've riveted, and so that's our first rivet job. And from the inside, all the seams are nice and tight, and it looks really good and looks really strong. It's amazing.
Got it? It's flapping right now.
That additional radius, so this little gap we have right here, we can probably tap right there at the front.
Yeah, that was that one that we were talking about. You know,
Yeah.
it might end up
Doing
this
that.
a little.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you're really gonna have to.
yeah, tweak it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, somebody to notice it is gonna be. I don't think anybody's gonna notice that. You know, maybe it tapers from 3 inches to 2 3/4 or something. What? Then can we go in and Cleco this? Put Clecos through these holes?
If you want to, if we're decent for our fit up, yes, we can do that.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you're just gonna put Clecos
Just
there
to
temporarily
hold it
until you
in
cut it
there.
off.
Yeah, until we can cut it off.
Yeah. Yeah, see, we're getting a little buckle here. I'm trying to get that out. So I'll come in and stretch it because I can't shrink it or anything. No. So right now, I think what it's going to need is just a small shim, and that appears to be taking it out now. So I'm going to end up putting a little thin shim about this thick in there, and only down the one side of the double wide bulkhead. It takes 2 rows of rivets.
What we're doing today is attaching upper panel number 4, which is the last of the upper panels and also the most difficult because it needs to be a perfect fit. The other ones we could adjust a little bit. This one we couldn't. So we got upper panel number 4. It's been drilled. We're riveting it on. Most are number 4 rivets, but every now and then we have a number 5, and that's the black ones. So go back and do those. Looking towards the back, you can see the rivets we still have to do, but we're more than halfway done, I'd say, with doing these rivets. So it's all come together. We're doing the cockpit cutouts here, right here, one back there. So anxious to get those cut out. That'll look great. But that's what we're doing right now, just getting the last upper panel on, and then later we're going to pull it out of the frame. It's got enough strength to it now, we no longer need the supports. And we're going to roll it over.
That would be a big step on it.
That would be a huge step. Yeah, get it out of the frame and rolling it over. It's been in that frame for about 8 years, so this will be exciting to see it free for once.
Now, does it still have that piece that goes down through here?
If you come around the other side, and you can see that, the T's, we'll put those on, but here we've attached a T, and we've temporarily attached it by clicking it from the inside rather than the outside. but we have the T installed, and we'll do that for the T on top. So every panel has a T that separates them. So this is the bottom T, but so this top T is on, and we'll do the same thing on the other side, and we'll do the same for the T that goes across the top.
Is the front the cockpit, or?
Yeah, the front is where the pilot flies from. And then there's another cockpit back here. So there's a secondary cockpit. They have controls back there. And then what we don't see right now is there's a door that goes right here for the cargo passenger compartment up front. And then we'll put windows in here eventually, but that can be done later on after we get all the skin fitted. Matt has the rivet gun from the outside, and then I'm on the inside with the bucking bar, and we flatten the rivet. So it's a two-person operation. Once you get a rhythm to it, it goes pretty quick.
Ready? Ready?
Ready.
Ready?
Ready.
Ready?
Ready. All right. You go back to the front of the
Or
stringer.
stringer, front to back.
Okay, small stringer front.
Ready?
Ready.
Ready?
Ready.
Ready?
Ready. Yep. Ready.
Ready?
Good. This is tightening everything up.
Ready?
Ready. Okay.
Ready?
Ready. Good. All right. Okay.
Ready?
Ready. Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
Ready?
Ready. That should do it. Yep, that looks good.
I can see that one.
Yeah. All right.
There we go. I just got
When I come back in, I'll
rivet them down.
I'm gonna go get some sticks. Okay.
That's one of them shims that you put in there.
Yeah, we had to put a shim in there.
Now, why would you do that?
Well, to get the skin smooth here, apparently when we formed this bulkhead, we got a little undersized. So to get the right shape, we had to put a shim in there to make up the difference. And we've seen that a couple of places, and it kind of goes back to the technique we used for making the bulkheads was possibly not the best. And probably if we came to D&D earlier, we could have stopped some of this stuff. But
There we go.
there we go. Okay,
Look good?
I'm good.
Ready?
Ready. Good.
All right.
Perfect.
Good. Thought I was on that one a little long.
You want to drill this and do this side now?
Yeah, if he wants to climb out and do it.
Tommy, do you want to drill this one on this side now or later?
Let's do number 5 and get this over with.
Kick that leg up.
Like 7 through 10, I think is what the forming to like a 3-4. So we were going to go with like a 5-6 to start with, and then do a test fit and see if we need, which we'll probably have to go more.
Okay, I wanted to make this video to kind of show some of the things to look out for. This particular panel is overstretched, and the reason that it's overstretched is a number of different things, and that's what I kind of wanted to talk about. If you look at the panel, there's an actual hard edges in it, in the actual metal. And we were checking the contours from front to back in our fixture with templates. What happened, unbeknownst to us at this time, that's why I'm doing this video, is that the bolt on the left-hand side as you're facing the hammer die actually came loose. And that's what caused an elliptical type hit like this, and that's what's created this hard shoulder right in through here. And the templates and the contours are based on a circular hit like this. And when you have an elliptical hit like this, you have more stretching this direction than you do with the circular one, which is like this. It's more even. And when you do that, that's also created too much curvature this way. And then with it hitting hard on this edge, it's left those creases in there. And we were trying to correct the panel by catching up, by hammering this outside edge. And if you can see the elliptical hammer, this was all done by hand to try to stretch this edge to match it up to the center to get it to fit. What we decided to do is cut out another panel. We had another panel, and the area that you're looking on here corresponds to from here to back in here. Now, we did pre-check in this particular panel, tighten our bolt up, but on our last pass, we ended up getting a few of those little streaks in here, which I think we can actually hammer those on out, but the actual bolt broke. So that's something to look out for. Now, the thing that we also did in changing this, we had a fair amount of what I would call oil and graphite, which obstructed basically the surface of the metal. So one of the things that we changed to is a lighter graphite, and actually instead of doing a circular pattern, we actually wiped it to get a nice even pattern so we didn't have as much of it on there. Going to, especially on a large panel like this, set it up in such a way that you need to check some of these things before you start and be aware of what you're looking for as you're hammering the part. And in this particular case, a fair amount of work has been ruined basically by this situation. The other part of it is being distracted or not being aware of what's going on, and that's also another reason that I'm making this video to have you look out for it. We'll go over to the hammer and I'll kind of show you what was going on with that. What we have here is another panel, and this is the wiped technique that we have in here. The oil and graphite isn't on as thick as it was on the other. When you look at, when we're running the panel, I'm running the panel back and forth through here. And what happened was this particular bolt broke. And what that did is allow this edge of the die to actually hit harder. The die surface, when you look at it, should have, which it's easier to show with graphite, but basically should have a hit like this. And what it was doing with that bolt was actually hitting right here on the side, making a hit like this. And that's not what you want. But that was because this bolt actually came loose, and on this last panel it actually broke.
We're back to get ready to put the next skins on. So we've marked out the rivet pattern on the main structure, drilled the holes where the rivets go, and finishing that up. They're finishing up the side panels. The fuselage is upside down right now. So we have the 4 upper panels on. Now we're getting ready for the 2 major side panels to be put on, then the top skin. So this is the opening for the horizontal stabilizer. And so I'm just making sure the opening's the correct dimensions of both sides here for these little members to go in. And some things like these bulkheads are pretty loose. So we put a red line on it that will drill the panel, and we'll pull this panel as necessary to get it to line up with the skin on the outside. And you can see, when you drill a hole, you can see the red through it. But these are pretty loose. You get here where they're structured tied together. There's not much movement we can do. We got a little bit we can play with, but not a lot. Not like something like that. But you can see we cut out with the openings for the cockpits, which are these two cut out openings here. Those rollers are there for the seat rail for the pilot. Bungee cord helps the seat go up and down, rides through those. We have to deal with inside gussets, strengthening members. So here you go from a wider section to a smaller. There's this gusset that goes between, so the thrusters kind of flow back. Then here at the wing, we have a much larger gusset we have to deal with. And so we've drilled that on the other side. Then once the skin goes on, we'll clamp everything down and we'll drill from the inside out and use clecos to hold it all together.
So
until
this
we rivet.
help hold the wing strength?
Yeah, this is the main wing spars here and here. And so you've got a lot of forces, obviously, from the wing that have to flow into the fuselage. And so you have these gussets to help distribute the load. And we have, even here, you've got this gusset actually goes on the outside of the skin that further increases the strength of this area. Because this rear spar has some pretty high loads on it. But right now they're trying to form the skin that is quite a complex curve as it comes around through here. So it's getting that last bit of shape right where it goes to the firewall. That's what they're doing now.
On the bottom? On the bottom. Yes. Okay.
Do one more up here.
That's a little more.
Shoot. Hold on. Okay, I get it. Hold on. Ready?
No. Yes. You can go 2 more. Harvey, you're going to start down low.
Yeah, we're gonna right above the T.
Okay.
One
Okay.
more.
2 more.
Got it.
What's going on is, looks like it's a little stretched, just a little too much material there.
Okay.
And what we try to do is come back in and put a shim in to bring it up, and a little bit of stretching right here to try to bring it around to get this
Blend it in.
Yep. That being done, both sides are doing it. Trying to get it to blend in was unsuccessful. We went ahead and riveted it in, and it made it worse. So now what we're doing is we're going to remove all the rivets out of this panel, come back in, and then shrink here with the no more dies.
Okay.
We're going to do that to both panels and reattach.
Reattach on that.
But
yeah.
we've noticed that it's doing it to
But
both
actually,
panels.
Yeah, show me that. Yeah. Okay.
You can see right here.
The extra material. Right
And you can see the extra material right here.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, we're in.
Got that one, Eddie. See how it's going up there.
Okay, quite a bit better. We still have a low spot right in here. Most of that is out. We got still just a little bit right here. But we're going to do some more shrinking in this area. We probably don't have to do quite as much right in here, but we still have a little bit of a ridge in here. I'm going to take that out, and then we're going to go in here and shrink some of the excess material right in here. And as far as our concerns, as far as our rivet pattern, we're still good. Yeah. We're still holding the rivets here, and we actually have it here. So it was definitely worthwhile getting this panel taken on and off. We've already improved it right now within a few minutes of the panel actually being taken off. Do a couple more fit ups, passes until we get something we like, and then we're ready to rivet. Yeah, clean the dies.
Just taking center to clean out the teeth and the dies. The Nomar dies, when you're running aluminum, they build up really fast with debris.
Okay, now we have smoother wrinkles, I would say. Still not there. We're still going to have to do some more work in trying to gather up some of the metal. It is smoothing on up, and as I was feeling on it here, I could actually, feel how things are. Now we have a hard ridge here and a hard ridge here. We're going to have to kind of work those on out. But we're definitely making some progress. I don't know how many more passes, but as you can see, we'll continue to keep improving this until we get the results we want. As you can see, there's a lot of fit up, take apart, and so on and so forth. And another reason for being able to do the metal shaping. Metal shaping in this case is always a fit and adjust type of situation, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. Okay, we have a little bit of a low on this edge right in here, but when this gets riveted together, what we don't have is, the hard crease on here. This edge will actually rivet pull together. Yep. So there we are as far as the shrinking and getting that back to where it fits. There we go. It's good. All right. Well, here we are about 3.5 hours later. Few breaks in here, but basically I've got it turned on around by taking that skin off and being able to put it in the egg hole and being able to take care of it. Okay.
So what's next?
Start riveting these panels together.
Yeah.
That.
Move it a little bit.
No, this one moves, but it's on the other side
Oh,
that
okay.
we gotta move. All right, I can bump it through. Stay back.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hold it there. So, okay. You got it.
Yep.
Just a second to get on it.
Ready?
Ready. Got it. You see I pulled the skin down?
Ready?
Ready.
Ready?
Ready. We're having a riveting day.
Oh my gosh. Ready?
Ready.
Ready?
Ready. There you go. I got it. Okay, now number 4s in this row.
Right. Ready?
Yep.
Ready? Ready.
Good. Okay.
That's it.
Now we gotta crawl inside.
Your favorite part.
Well, fortunately, there aren't many of them.
Yeah, you got us.
You're gonna start from where, Tom? In the back?
Back and it works its way out. Yeah. Always work your way out.